Hiya, duck. So, you know the 3D nail art that do like the flowers and everything like that? It's all good and well doing them and your client wears them and they love them and they get all this joy out of them. But when they come back to you, how do you get them off? How do you take that off? How do you deal with that? Well, I'm going to show you. So let's get cracking. Andrea has got 3D on her nails. She's also got bling as well. Now some people, and I've seen people do this and no, and I get a bit sad when I see them do it. They take an electric file and start hammering the 3D nail art, and this, you know, if you look at the side of that, it's quite the chunk. It's, you know what I mean, it's a lot of product there is. Plus there are stones there. Did you know some crystals contain lead? And if there is lead in a crystal and you take an electric file to that crystal and it has lead in it, wow, what do you think can happen to the lead?
Into the air.
Yeah. Into the air, into lungs, into your client's lungs, or, you know, yes, you can wear a mask and all that. It's just something you need to be wary of. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use them and you can't use them, but do not ever take them off with an electric file or a hand file. For the reason I've just said, and also you're going to ruin your electric file bits. So that's important. But taking an electric file to this is going to build up a massive amount of heat and friction and will potentially burn your client's nail. We don't want that. We don't want to create pain. Well, it depends who the client is, do you know what I mean? But today we don't want to do that. So I'm going to show you how we take this off safely and we get the nail prepared ready for the next service. Okay?
Okay.
First of all, I'm going to put down a bit of paper, couch paper, bed paper, bed roll, whatever you want to call it. Now, you can wear eye protection, but because I'm an expert...
She can aim it very well at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job I'm looking through the camera lens.
So I've got nippers. We sell loads of nippers. I'm going to say 4 because there's these 2 different shapes. This one is slightly narrower than this one because it fits differently and it's actually got a narrower blade. Okay, now if we look at this one is my old knackered, done, it's ready for the bin, but don't put it in the bin. And it's ready for the bin because it's not sharp anymore. We've used it quite a lot and now I actually use this one for taking off crystals. So if we look at this, the blade doesn't shut properly at the very tip. It's a bit bent, it's a bit battered, but this is perfectly fine for, let me move that paper, sorry, so you can see a bit better. You see how the very, very tip doesn't quite shut, yeah? It's a bit battered, but it's perfectly fine to remove crystals and also take off the majority of your 3D nail art, okay? Safely. Now, the other thing you can do when you're removing is you can protect your eyes with your fingers, like this.
Ah.
Okay, Adam's just gone, what, like this?
Perhaps not.
Perhaps not. Now, I know that this finger is angling towards me, so we'll angle that towards Adam.
Good job I've got a poster hide behind here. And the Hoover for the later on.
It's not angling towards Andrea. So I know there's a lot of...
You don't want to be hurting the people who pay your bills.
No. So I'm going to put my fingers around like this. So I'm holding the finger. I don't necessarily need to hold it like that because what I want to do is protect anything pinging off and it's going to hit my hand. And that's absolutely fine. Yeah? So I'm going to support the finger between those 2 fingers as well. So you can do this. Instead of doing this is going to make it ping everywhere. If you want to support, if it's even longer than this, like say what Faye has on, then you're going to support it. It's not too long, but we do want to support it a bit. So I'm going to put my fingers around here and then start to...
Hiya!
Adam, you such a and I can start to remove. Most of them are dropping on here. One of them, I don't know where that went. This big one, look at that. I could probably use that again. That is beautiful. And also, this is the gem gel. So the gem gel, you know, you can take that off as well. So when you've got a flower like this and it's got crystals around it, you kind of want to scoop your hand, and I'm pressing this onto my hand as well. Now it's on the side, I can support it, and I can take these off, but I've got it between my finger and thumb, and I can apply the pressure, but it's supported with my hand, and plus these other fingers are there stopping things pinging everywhere. Now for this flower, we can start with the outside. So if we start with the leaf, so we're grabbing the sides of it, and again, when I know I'm going to close, did you notice how my fingers were like that? So I close my fingers on the other hand. Yeah, so we protect anything flying away. And I'm not doing it blind because I know where it is, I know it's caught hold of it, and then I can close. Like that. Like a magic trick, that, isn't it? I feel like I've got my magic trick gloves on. So from the outside, again, support, wrapping around, supporting. We've got a little bit of it there. And then we're going to support, especially on the side like this. We're going to support it around the edge. Close the fingers around. And we create like this little cave. It's like a hand cave. Not a man cave, a hand cave. And we go around the edge. And then now I want to turn the hand this way, because I want to come in at this angle. Again, we're supporting here. You can grab like this if you want, if that feels more comfortable, but I can support here. It's pressing on my hand. Got a little bit there. Start from the outside and work your way in. Now, coming from the top is a little bit more difficult because, well, you want to see where you're coming from. I think what I'm going to do is get you turned this way, and I can rest the finger on my hand. Again, I'm not having to turn like this. I'm not uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm still in a comfortable position. Make sure that you're wary that there's a blade on this hand as well. So if it was right here and I touch this part of the skin, no. Make sure it's angled up. Catch, supporting the nail, catch the sides and close. That did get me there. And then now, take your hand back for me. We've just got this bulk centre. And what you can do is, now we've got this bulk centre, we're going to catch the sides of it like this, yeah? I'm going to hold my hand around it, and I'm going to put a bit of pressure on and snip, and we're gone. Now we can just sort of get little bits off. We're kind of giving it a trim. Just an inch off today, darling, just an inch. Just giving it a bit of a trim like at the hairdressers.
Just the ends.
Just the ends off. And then you've got that off safely. It's all on the paper towel, so it's not like pinging everywhere. Now these are flatter 3D. First of all, we're going to start with the bling again. Right, okay, so we're grabbing the finger, resting it on our hand, and protecting. Make sure you're not pressing down with your nipper. If you press down with your nipper too much, you run the risk of slipping off the nail and into the skin. Okay? Learn by my mistakes. I did that many years ago. It's not nice for the client. So again, we're going to protect with our fingers. And it's supported by my hand. We're hooking around the side of the crystals. And then we're just left with the 3D. We could kind of trim these little bits if we want to. And now we're left with this 3D that is a lot flatter. Now this, you could use an e-file on that, but again, it will create more heat. But this is a lot flatter than the other one. If we look at the 3D, it's a lot flatter. You could come through with your e-file with that. That would be safe to do so. But you can actually do this with the nippers as well. So we're going to show you that. So again, we're going to work from the outside. It will not come off as clean as the other one because there's more contact being made with the petals. And they are obviously a lot shallower, they're a lot thinner. But we can take the bulk of it off with the nippers. Like that. Again, we're going to come around the outside of this petal here. See what we can grab. I'm going to turn this to the side. See what we can grab here. Yes, we remind you to lift some off. We've taken them off. Look at them now. That wasn't too much effort either. And then we can go over those with a file. No drama. So we're going to do the same with these crystals here as well. Now these crystals are close to the cuticle. So again, do not be pressing down because you might slip into the cuticle. You just want to have a firm grip so you can just snip those off. Like that. Do not use your e-file. So we have one on here as well. So again, using your fingers to protect both you and your client, but not Adam. And starting from the outside, I think that's as much as we're going to get off with that one. This one is definitely stuck really well. And because we put the paper towel down, we can fold that and goodbye. I'm going to use the pink ceramic bit with the pink Swarovski crystal on it because I don't want to take off any bulk or anything like that. I just want to take off this gel polish and a little bit of this. That's all I need to do. So this colour that we're taking off is called Crystal. It's gorgeous. It's an absolutely gorgeous colour. Did you notice what I did then? So I was like this. If you do this. So you put the fingers underneath and hold the finger.
I think you've been doing this for a while.
I know. It should be one of the first things that you learn when you do a nail course. No pressure on the bit, so you're making contact with the nail just to remove the gel polish. That's all we're going to do. Plus, we're going to take off any of the gem gel that's still on there from the gems, and we're going to take the remainder of any of this acrylic that's on there. This bit is enough to do it. The rotation of the bit is in the forward position, and I'm pulling from the cuticle to the tip. I'm also going to show you how to do it with a hand file, because I know not everybody is trained in using an electric file. Notice I've moved the nail into a different position that's comfortable for me. Sod the client, you need to be comfortable. They're not sat there for that long. If you're sat there all day, you need to be comfortable. And literally that is there for what? A couple of seconds. And was that even uncomfortable?
No, not at all.
No. I'm going to take a 150 grit file, and I'm going to show you how we're going to remove this with a hand file now. So I'm going to start with my favourable side. So this is the easiest side for me to file. I'm right-handed, and I can access this left side. So it's my left side, Andrea's right side. And I can get in nice and easy. This is my easiest position. And then we're going to rotate and come across to the centre of the nail. Now once we've got the centre done, and I'm just gently buffing that away, we're not doing any aggressive filing, I'm going to change the position again. If you don't want to change the position, what you can do is you can change the position of your hand in the file. So if my hand is like this, I would then change it like this. Choo choo. So we've gone from this, yeah, or this. It's like a bridge, yeah, it's like a bridge. And then we've gone to the violin. No. Can't you tell I just used to play the violin? Never.
I was going to say.
Can you imagine me playing the violin?
No, definitely not.
No. So, now we've changed the position, we can come round like this. So we can file like this, changing that position of the file. Or we can turn the client's hand to the side if you prefer to have the file in your hand this way. Now, when I used to teach at Stoke-on-Trent College, holding a file was one of the things that new nail techs really struggled with. Holding it in the right position, getting the right angles. So it took a while. So if you're a new nail tech, you're new into nails, really try different positions holding the file. Try this bridge position, try this violin bow position, and see what's best for you.
Martial arts.
It is.
Crab, the claw.
Yeah.
The tiger.
Yeah. Suppose it, and then,
The monkey.
because it is a bit like, it's like a bridge, but it's a bit like a claw as well. I don't know. And you can. Most people hold it like that when they first start, and that is a really difficult way to hold the file because your hand is in the way and you have no control.
Yeah.
But
That feels
weird.
weird.
Yeah, you can't.
That feels like you could hit me at any
Whereas
time.
this has got more wrist action.
Yeah.
Whereas this is it's a bit clumsy. It's really clumsy. So that's the difference between doing it with a electric file and a hand file. See how smooth this one is? And this one you've already got your demarcations in there. So the electric file will always do it smoother. But your hand file is going to create your demarcations. The good thing with doing it with your hand file is you can kind of blend that acrylic in as well. While you're there, you can also do any cuticle prep. So if you've already pushed the cuticles back, you can then do your cuticle prep as well. But for me, I slightly favour this one because it's less exercise. Basically, it's just less exercise for me. So I'm going to go back to my A file, take off the rest of this. So I'm going to push back Andrea's cuticles. Now Andrea isn't very good with an electric file prep when it comes to cuticle area because her skin is so thin. Andrea's lost lots of weight as well, and the skin, it's just totally different. And you've always been a bit thin on the skin side, but this is even more so now. So we've got to be really gentle around there. So I'm going to push back this epinician here, this band that we see, and we can feel the difference between natural nail, and we can feel the difference between the cuticle. Now if I turn this cuticle pusher over and I've got my blade, I can bring this down and you can see all of this, it feels different, it feels like rubber, and I can sort of just ease that off the nail, because if you leave that on the nail you will have lifting. So it is a mistake that a lot of people do, especially when they're starting out. And it kind of sounds different as well. Like it's not as scratchy. Now, this area of the nail is the newest keratinized part, and it's not fully keratinized either. So if you are too rough in this area, if you press really hard, you'll end up with white spots, white little patches, which have absolutely nothing to do with calcium, unlike the old advert that used to tell us.
Yeah, that's what they always used to say. That's what I thought it was.
Drink some more milk.
Yeah.
Because of the calcium.
Yeah.
Absolute load of rubbish.
Ah.
And why do you think loads of kids get it?
Don't know.
Because they bash their fingers a lot.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Because they're playing and all that, so they
Yeah.
tend to bash their fingers a lot. So if you are really forceful in this area, then you can create little white spots. So can you see this cuticle here? And can you see how it's all stuck to Andrea's nail? This is all stuck. And it's stretched down. Can you see how it's slightly misshaped? Only slightly. But it kind of dips in the middle a bit here because it's stretched down. And what you can see as well is, you see this bit of skin here, this little line of skin. That little line there. That's where skin is pulled back from the cuticle area, because it's attached to it, it's dragging itself down. So we're going to push this back and you'll see the relief on the actual skin. It won't be stretched anymore. See? It's not stretched anymore, there's no pressure on it. Then we can take any cuticle off. And you can see the bits of skin that were attached that are now flaking off. Now if they're completely white, you can cut them off, but if they have any colour whatsoever, do not take it off. That looks better already. 240 grit file. Take off the edges. Don't want to cut Andrea. So with this 240 grit file, we're going to prep the natural nail. You might have seen in previous videos we've done this with a sanding band. You can do it with a sanding band, but for those people that aren't trained in using an electric file, this will be beneficial for you guys to watch, because we're just going to concentrate on that area, and then because we've used the electric file over the nail and it's super smooth, we're just going to start like rough that up a little bit just by taking that file over the nail. So we're going to do that on all the nails. Also going to take some length down. So we're going to do that on all the nails, and then it will be time to work with the acrylic to refill the nails. So we're going to wipe over with clean-up solution. That is going to get rid of any of that little bits of dust, and also dehydrate the nail, which is really important. We're going to use the primer. Next step in your acrylic system. So we're going to put the primer on just on the natural nail.
And the primer line.
So we're going to fill these with Burlesque, because that's the same colour that is on the nails already. It's starting to be people's new favourite, you know, Burlesque is. It's such a lovely, lovely colour.
It's a gorgeous colour, isn't it?
Mm. Fuzzy. That'll get filed away. It's right on the top. So I'm going to buff the nails to make them nice and smooth. The next step after this, really important, is to get your client to wash their hands, because they're dirty buggers. It's going to help get rid of the dust on the nails, on the skin, and the dust under the nails as well, which is going to make the next step even easier for you. Plus, you don't want any filings of acrylic on the skin. It's got to be gone. So off you go.
You can't.
Yeah, off you go. So we're going to wipe over now with clean-up solution to clean over these nails to make sure that they are ready for the next step. So we can now do a design on these nails. You can either put top coat on them, you can do whatever you want on them, but they're all done and ready to rock and roll. So stick around, because in the next video we're going to do some crazy nail art. And yeah, that was meant to go in the bin, and it's actually stuck on the light. Oh God. Yeah, stick around. Don't forget, check us out on Facebook and Instagram and all that shebang. Everything I've used today is going to be listed below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ta-da!